In early 1776, war raged across North America. Patriots had fought and died at the battles of Lexington and Concord, and then at Bunker Hill. Battles were fought in Virginia, and the port of Norfolk lay in ashes. British warships prowled American waters, and a massive fleet carrying 32,000 redcoats and Hessian mercenaries were being prepared to stamp out the rebellion in the American colonies. General George Washington and his Continental Army squared off against the British in Boston. Yet, the colonists were not ready to make a final rupture with the British and form their own separate country. All that was about to change in January 1776. A recent immigrant from England had arrived in Philadelphia about a year before. He had failed in various jobs and was trying his hand as a journalist and propagandist. He wrote an essay attacking the inconsistency of slavery and freedom in America. Revolutionary physician Benjamin Rush read the essay and met its author. Rush suggested that the writer Thomas Paine compose an essay supporting the controversial idea of independence. Paine agreed and started writing. Paine wrote in a plain and clear style that appealed to a mass audience, but the 46-page pamphlet he wrote was provocative and forceful in its language. Paine planned to title the pamphlet Plain Truth, but Rush suggested he change it to Common Sense. Paine pulled no punches when he ridiculed hereditary monarchy and aristocracy. He called them the two ancient tyrannies because they created an unequal and oppressive society. They created artificial distinctions between kings and subjects and exalted a few people above the rest. Paine specifically attacked King George III as a royal brute and believed Americans should separate from Britain. Reconciliation was just a fallacious dream by 1776. The king and parliament ignored all their petitions and pleas to end the oppressive rule, and British troops were killing Americans. Paine thought that the colonists should declare independence and adopt republican self-government. He envisioned a representative national Congress elected by the people. The government would be established along Enlightenment natural law principles to protect the natural rights of the people, including life, liberty, property, and religious liberty. As he wrote, he wanted to begin the world anew with a free government of citizens, not subjects of a king. Common Sense was an immediate bestseller. 25 editions were quickly published, and it sold 150,000 copies in a population of only 2.5 million people. Copies were shared, and it was read aloud in taverns and in the army, as the idea of independence spread like wildfire. One Connecticut man captured its effect perfectly. "You have declared the sentiments of millions," he wrote. "We were blind, but on reading these enlightening words, the scales have fallen from our eyes." George Washington praised it for its sound reasoning and thought it would influence Congress to consider the question of separation. Washington was correct. Common Sense pushed the movement for independence rapidly forward in the Second Continental Congress. Over the spring, congressional delegates were significantly divided over the question and debated it fiercely. By July 2nd, Congress adopted Richard Henry Lee's resolution that the colonies were free and independent states, and that all political connection between them and Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. On July 4th, 1776, Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence that asserted, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights."